Assalamualaikum everyone, this is me Abu Ahmad Zubri and welcome to Army Physics Class. Today we are going to cover the rest of chapter 2.13 and we are going to try to cover some new topics on the new chapter inshallah. So let's continue everyone and let's begin. So I would like to request everyone to give the chapter name and a number. Chapter 2.13 more about charges. So the first thing we have to know here is that line charges repel and opposite charges attract. It is like the same concept as the magnets. The like poles or the same poles repel and the opposite poles attract each other. For example, for a magnet, the north pole and north pole of two magnets are going to repel, but the north pole and the south pole of two magnets are going to attract. It is like the same process, but here we are going to use charges. Here the charges act like the magnets. So same charges repel and opposite charges attract. For example, positive charge will repel, negative charge will repel, but positive charge will attract each other. Now we are going to come to the point that earthing. First, we need to know that why earthing is needed. So, earthing is needed because if enough charges build up on something, electrons may be pulled through the air and cause sparks. If enough charges build up on something, electrons may pull through the air and cause sparks, and sometimes from these sparks it may cause a fire. Let me give you an example that why earthing is needed. That when an airplane is moving, or when an airplane is moving up in the sky, when an airplane is moving, it is continuously facing an air resistance against its motion by the air. By the air it's getting an air resistance. So there is a friction between the metal body of the plane and the air. So due to this friction and due to this air resistance, there is a charge builds up on the body of the airplane. So when the airplane is going to land on the airport or on the runway, when the airplane or the aircraft is going to land on the runway of the airport, so the runway is solid earth and the metal body. So there is a gap between the earth and the metal body, as the opposite charges of the earth. For example, if the airplane gains negative charges, through the air resistance, the positive charges of the earth is going to attract it when it will stop or when it will land on the runway. So this will cause a spark, as there is an attraction between the positive and the negative charges. The electrons that are gained by the body of the aeroplane will travel or will want to travel to the earth, and they are going to try to travel directly. So it may cause a spark, and if this spark causes, and it may occur in the fuel tank also. So if this spark occurs in the fuel tank, it will be a reason for catching fire. If the fuel tank catches a fire, everything will catch a fire in a few moments. In a few moments, the whole aeroplane is going to catch a fire. So to avoid this thing, an earth well is connected to the metal body of the aeroplane and to the earth, so that the electrons or the charges can flow
easily, the charges can flow easily through the earthware, and this will make sure there is no sparks going on while traveling. There will be no sparks going on. So as there will be no sparks, so this will ensure us that there will be no fire. And this is why earthing is important. Earthing is also important in the fuel tanks. The fuel tanks, like the petrol tank, which travels from the original source to the petrol pumps. When the truck is moving, there is a constantly friction. There is a constant friction between the fuel in the fuel tank and the metal fuel tank. There is a constant friction between the fuel and the metal fuel tank. So even that time, while transferring the fuel or while transferring that petrol from the fuel tank to the petrol pump, an earthware is also connected to that metal fuel tank, so that the charges that have built up due to the friction can pass easily without causing a spark, and which will ensure us that there will be no fire. That's why earthing is important. As you think that if the truck that is containing petrol, it doesn't contain 1 liter or 2 liter petrol, it contains a huge amount of petrol. So if a huge amount of petrol is burning without any reason, it will cost money. Extracting the petroleum from the ground is costing money of government and other things. Government have to pay the company who are extracting that petroleum from the ground. And that's not all. We need to convert that petroleum to petrol. We have to convert that petroleum to petrol. Even that converting has some works not only some, but many works to do. So even that causes fire. So even that costs money. So if the petrol tank causes, or if the truck catches a fire, all the petrol will burn, including the driver of the truck and the helper. The driver and the helper will also burn if they can't get out of the truck immediately. So it's a risk for 2 persons' life, and also it will cost a lot of money. All the monies that have a fraction of money which have been cost to extract that petroleum, and then which have cost to transfer that petroleum to petrol, will go to waste or will be wasted. So you can think like that also, that is also a reason for doing earthing. And the second example I have said here, the costing one, it is according to business. It is according to business that the example is according to business, that it costs money for everything, and we don't want that money to go to waste. Burning a liter of petrol without any reason is same as burning money, which is same as burning money. As people can, I am giving examples related to business or related to money because I have seen that people understand money examples better than anything else. So I found that if I give money examples, I hope that you guys will understand it. So
now let's come to the point that what is neutral. So neutral means when there is no overall charge. Neutral means when there is no overall charge, full stop. Guys, you need to learn this thing, that what does neutral means. What does neutral means
you guys need to know that. You guys also need to know that how does or why does an atom is neutral? Why an atom has neutral charge? You need to learn that. Why an atom have neutral charge? It is very important to learn that these things may come in the question in terms of long question answers. This thing will definitely come. What does neutral means? Why an atom have a neutral charge? And also this thing will come that why earthing is important. Why earthing is important. These questions are gonna come in your exam. So you better learn it. And first, before learning it, first you need to read the whole answer and try to understand. And if you understand the thing, then you can learn very easily. An atom is neutral because there is an equal number of positively charged protons and negatively charged delocalized electrons. Full stop. So, each positive charge cancels out each negative charge. So, after cancels out each negative charge, there will be a full stop. So, atom has no overall charge or the charge is zero. Let me repeat the answer again. An atom is neutral because there is an equal number of positively charged protons and negatively charged delocalized electrons. Positively charged proton, POSI, positively charged protons, and negatively charged delocalized electrons, negatively, negatively charged delocalized electrons, delocalized electrons, full stop. So, each positive charge cancels out each negative charge, full stop. So, atom has no overall charge or the charge is zero. Third full stop. Please take an essence of this thing. Now come to the point that electrical insulators are substances that does not let electricity to pass through. I have already explained what are electrical insulators in the previous chapters, one of the previous chapters. So I would request everyone who don't know what are electrical insulators or water insulators to go to my channel and watch the previous videos. I have specifically cleared with live example I have given explaining what is electrical insulator and the opposite of this, which is conductor. So I would like to request everyone to write this question. It's a special question that what happens when a plastic rod is rubbed with an uncharged piece of cloth? What happens when a plastic rod is rubbed with an uncharged piece of cloth? Question mark. Now let us see the answer. Then later I am going to explain this thing. So the question was that what happens when plastic rod is rubbed with an uncharged piece of cloth? What happens when a plastic rod is rubbed with an uncharged piece of cloth? The answer is that when the uncharged plastic rod is rubbed, when the uncharged plastic rod is rubbed with an uncharged piece of cloth, electrons from the atoms of the rod move onto the cloth, full stop. There is now an unequal number of positive and negative charges on each, full stop. the rod has lost electrons and so it is positively charged, full stop. The cloth has gained electrons, so it is negatively charged, full stop. And the last two lines you can also write like this, that the rod has lost electrons, so it is positively charged, and as the cloth has gained electrons, so it is negatively charged, full stop. You can also write the last two lines like this. If you write the last two lines in the second way, you won't have to give full stop, but you have to add some words. Anyway, you write until or unless the concept is right and the main points are there, you will get marks, inshallah. So, let me explain this thing. I hope you guys have taken notes, or you guys have taken essays of this thing. So let me explain now. Suppose you have let me give you an example. So, as you guys see here, that I have drawn the thing which I have said in words, I have drawn the same thing. You see, this is a plastic rod and a uncharged cloth. Uncharged cloth. Plastic rod and an uncharged cloth. So, this is before rubbing, and after rubbing, see, the cloth has become negatively charged because, or as it has gained electrons, and the rod has become positively charged because, or it has because, or as it has lost electrons. Before writing anything, please just see that before rubbing there was an equal number of protons and equal number of electrons, but as we have rubbed both of them with each other, so one has gained electrons. See, number of protons are same, but one has gained electrons and another one has lost electrons. In both cases, number of protons are same. In both cases, number of protons are same, but one has lost electrons, another one has gained electrons. That's the difference. Please take a essay of this diagram, or please draw this on your note copy. If you want time, please pause the video, draw the diagram, label the diagram, and then continue the video again. So here is a special thing, that when an aircraft fly through the air, there is continuously a friction occurring between the body of the aircraft and air, which causes the aircraft to become charged with static electricity. After an aircraft has landed, there is a possibility of charges escaping to the earth as a spark of electricity. If this takes place while refueling, it may cause an explosion, full stop. So this is nothing except the thing which I have explained in the beginning of the class while explaining the importance of earthing. This is the thing which I have explained while explaining the importance of earthing. At that moment, I have explained it in a short way. Now, I am writing it in a long way and in a detailed manner, which you need to just read and just need to remember. You don't need to learn or memorize this thing. If you read, understand, and try to remember this thing, you can write it from your own. Just the whole concept must be same. This is the first part of what what I am writing. This is the first part until explosion. So when aircraft fly through the air, there is continuously a friction occurring between the body of the aircraft and air, which causes the aircraft to become charged with static electricity. Full stop. This is the first full stop. After an aircraft has landed, there is a possibility of charges escaping to the earth. After an aircraft has landed, there is a possibility of charges escaping to the earth. As a spark of electricity, full stop. As a spark of electricity, full stop. This is the second full stop, which means that it is the second line. It takes place. If this takes place while refueling, it may cause an explosion. If this takes place while refueling, it may cause an explosion. Full stop. This is the third line. I hope that I don't have to explain this thing, as I have explained this thing already in the beginning of the class. So now let us see the second half of the answer. So this is the second half of the thing which we are writing. So this will continue from the, if you have space on the same, if you have space on the same line after writing the first half, which was after writing the end of the first half, which was if this takes place while refueling, it may cause an explosion. So refueling, if this takes place while refueling, it may cause an explosion. After explosion, give full stop. If you have space in that line, you can continue from that line, or you can continue from the next line. It's the second half. So after the aircraft has landed and hardware is connected to the body of the aircraft before fueling, and also the tanker carrying the fuel is also earthed, and also the tanker carrying the fuel is also earthed, because there is a movement of fuel in the tank. Because there is a movement of fuel in the tank, causes a charge to build up, which causes a charge to build up due to friction. So it may also catch fire, which will cause an explosion. It may catch fire, which will cause an explosion. So that's the end of chapter 2.13. Now we are going to start a new chapter, inshallah. Those who haven't written the first half, please pause the video, reverse the video, and take a essay or write it on your note copy. Then continue the video and write the second half of the answer, or second half of the explanation, that why does an aircraft have to be. The question may come like this, that why does an aircraft have to be, or why does an airplane have to be earthed, earthed after landing. So the whole thing will be of around 4 to 6 marks, and this 4 to 6 marks, it will not be 4 marks, it will be 6 marks or 5 marks. So for 5 or 6 marks, you have to write the whole thing, the first part and the second part. So also take a essay of these things and or write this on your note copy. I hope you guys have understand chapter 2.13, and that is the end of unit 2. Now we are going to start unit 3, and the first chapter is going to be 3.01, speed, velocity, acceleration. So the first thing we are going to learn here is that what is the speed. Our chapter is chapter 3.01, and the name of the chapter is speed, velocity, acceleration. So in this chapter we are going to learn about all the 3 things. So first thing is that speed. What is speed? The rate of change of position, the rate of change of position of an object in any direction is its speed. The rate of change of position of an object or of any object, you can write anything, you can write any before object or an before object, it's totally your choice. The meaning stays the same. So the rate of change of position of an object is the rate of change of position of an object in any direction is its speed. Speed equals to total distance by total time. Speed equals to total distance by total time. So speed is measured in meter per second. You can write meter per second in two ways. The first one is that you can give slash after m and then write s, or you can write m s to the power minus 1, which also represents the form meter per second. Now let's see what it is measured in meter per second. We know that the SI unit of distance is meter and time is second. So when we are going to divide distance by time, we are dividing meter by second, and this way the unit or the SI unit of speed comes meter per second. So that is all for today, and thank you everyone for staying with Ami, and Assalamu alaikum.